Mhm. So yes, I'm Micaela, and I'm the third coordinator and facilitator of the training of the project. I'm very happy to be here and to finally see your faces and your presence. Um, what is I'm in La Garrocha. It's a region like 2 hours from Barcelona, very mountain and beautiful region. And I was saying to Flor that this morning I was like feeling that my English went far, far from me. So I'm a little bit nervous about it, but also trusting that we can communicate in many ways and that we can help also to translate if we need it. Yeah, so today we have Flor with us that will give us a masterclass. I follow the work of Flor since years and I really love it. It really inspires me. She is a philosopher, activist, mentor, and she investigates themes, the subjects of fertility, cyclical sovereignty, ecofeminism, and well, I think she will present better than I can do it. But yeah, I'm super happy she is here with us to share her wisdom. So yeah, I give you la palabra, te paso la palabra.
Thank you, Mika. Well, hello, everyone. I'm really happy and excited to be here with you today. Thank you so much for your presence and your attention. I think this is the most important thing we have to share nowadays, our presence, our time, our bodies. Before we begin, I want to say sorry for my pronunciation, as Michael as well. English is not my first language, so thank you in advance for your patience and for listening with open hearts. If there is something that I say that is not clear, please interrupt me and do the questions you want. I also want to say thank you for Micaela and Resilient Regeneration Project for inviting me here. It's a real joy to be with you and maybe to share a perspective from the global south. I'm in Argentina, in the Patagonia. Do you know the place? It's the south of Argentina. We says the ass of the world because it's the last. In fact, it would be the feet, not the ass. But I don't know why the joke is the ass of the world. So let me introduce myself briefly. I'm a thinker who enjoy mixing languages and different type of practical and theoretical knowledge. I mix spirituality, business, politics, bodies, territories, and I think that's because I'm ecofeminist. And for ecofeminism point of view, everything is related. So that's the lens I use to accompany projects and people to grow out, to walk the path of transformation. So what are we going to share today is one of the tools I found very interesting for making projects, for running projects. In fact, I like one of the definitions of dragon dreaming. Do you know? Someone of you knows about dragon dreaming? Camille, do you use dragon dreaming? So maybe you can help me to explain some of the phases. Well,
I can try.
well, we can do it together because I have like a little bit uncomfortable with the language. So if I have a trouble or I'm a mistake, you can help me. So let's begin with the presentation. Mika, do you have it there? The rest of you, have you ever listened about dragon dreaming? No? Okay. So I think I'm going to change your life today. Really. I'm not joking. I think it's a very transformative tool. So this presentation, this masterclass, it was called Sustainability and Ecofeminism in Project Design. And I think Dragon Dreaming is a tool for creating regenerative and cyclical initiatives. And that's why I chose this tool for sharing with you in this kind of project. The next one, Mika. So let's start by naming some of the themes we will explore in today's session. We will begin by asking yourself these questions, because these are the topics that we are going to see during the class. What is the fertility of the soil where your project takes root? What are your dreams? What do you think about dragons? It sounds like crazy questions, right? What do you allow your project to spiral out of control in a safe way? This is very important when we run projects and when we lead projects, is to feel comfortable when the project is out of control. And of course, I didn't say that, but I want to say that when I say project, it would be like a professional project, a life project. It's like project in a huge way of thinking on that. It's not just something to work on. Another question is, what do these questions have to do with your leadership? If you know which kind of leadership you have, and what is an ecosystemic leadership? I'm going to share a point of view about ecosystemic leadership. Have you ever heard about ecosystemic leadership? If you can write in the chat yes or no, just to share and to know if it's like a new thing or not really. Okay. No, no, no. Well, okay, we are going to learn a lot of new things today. The next one, Mika. So let's beginning with the Pinakari exercise. Pinakari is, you know that in Dragon Dreaming, Pinakari is a word from Aboriginal tradition that means deep listening. Pinakari is deep listening. It's about connecting yourself with others, with the earth, in more intuitive and present way. To explain it very simple, Pinakari is the opposite that we always do in life. For example, now I'm speaking and you are listening to me, and maybe at the same time you are thinking like, what is she saying? Or she's so stupid. Or I love what she's saying. Or like you have a lot of voices in your mind, a lot of different kind of opinions, judgments, right? So Pinakari is like the possibility of deep listening without judgment. It's like just listen, please receive, like to be open and not to judge yourself and what you hear. So it's a very simple exercise. I will ask you 3 questions, and please take a moment to write down Do you have a pencil and a workbook or, well, perfect. So take a moment to write down whatever comes to your mind. Don't overthink it. Yes, just let the words flow. I'm going to ask you a question and you are going to write the answer. It's meant to be playful, yes, like a little game. So enjoy it. It's not a test, it's not something bad. This is the first question. Please answer the answer. What is a dragon for you? Just few words. What is the dragon for you? Next one, because we are adults and we can go quickly. And I have a lot of things today. What does the dragon represent in your life? Not in general, in your life. What dragons represent for you? Okay, let's go with the last one. What do you associate it with in your life? You associate dragons with what? It could be a side life, a feeling, a thought. Well, the next one, Mika, please. So I'm going to share you something. When I first learned about dragon dreaming, I became like quite fascinating. I'm obsessed maybe about dragons. I even traveled to Asia. And when I was traveling, I went to a Vipassana retreat, like to be in silence for 10 days. Do you know, like meditation, Vipassana meditation in silence? And in the middle of the retreat, I have constantly this question. What is the other side of the dragon? It was like crazy for me. It was nonsense at all. What is the other part of the dragon? The other side of the dragon is like the other side of the moon. I was thinking in the Pink Floyd music. It was like, what? What does it mean? At that time, I didn't understand it, of course. But later, I continued studying and exploring, and I realized that dragons are archetypical creatures that have existed in our cultural imagination for centuries. I'm quite sure that in every country you are right now, you have mythology and storytelling about dragons. In Asian cultures, everywhere around the whole planet are stories about dragons. They are often associated with wildness, chaos, danger, fire, feeling of being out of control. But the important thing for me, it was that discovering that the dragon is always related with someone. There's always someone fighting with a dragon, learning from a dragon, taming, struggling with the dragon. In my studies, I came to see that the dragon is a metaphor for our relationship with our personal energy. And this is the most important thing to realize. It's about energy that is both powerful and unpredictable. Many spiritual traditions link this energy to the life force that resides within all of us, often referred to Kundalini or sexual energy. Did you hear about that? Have you ever heard about Kundalini energy or sexual energy? It's the same energy as creative energy. I mean, when we run a project, it's the same energy. We use the same energy as we are having sexual relationships. It's like life energy is sexual energy. It's creative energy, you know? It's the same force that drives our creativity and our capacity to transform. And here is where the connection is very interesting. The dragon isn't something we need to destroy or fight. It represents our unknown potential. The energy of the dragon is the force that fuels creation. Just as sexual energy is not just for reproduction, but is a powerful creative force that allows us to manifest our deepest dreams, to see the energy of the dragon. The energy of the dragon, of course, is chaotic. It's huge. It's out of control. But it's necessary, that kind of energy. It's raw, it's primal, it's creative. So when we ask ourselves, what is the other side of the dragon? We are also asking, what is the other side of our own wild power? The wildness power of the dragon is our wildness power. So, next, Mika. So I want to share you a quote from Sean Croft. And in this point, I want you to pay attention about your second and your third answer. While I'm reading, please think about your own answers. What a dragon represents for you is what you fear in life. Where your fear is strongest, there lies the source of your power, which is asleep. You must then learn to dance with your fears in order to awaken your power. And that's something very blow-minded for me, because when I ask you which is your answer for the second one, I mean, what does a dragon represent in your life? In general, the answer is not something bad or sad. It's something very powerful. It's like, I don't know, maybe if one of you feel comfortable to write your answer. What the dragon represents for you is what you fear in your life. And we fear our life. We fear our power. We fear our strongest way. We fear maybe about our dreams. This to me is the real meaning of shadow work. Learning to awake our power through the body by moving towards our fears instead away from them, you know? Just to face it, like if we are in front of a dragon. When you bring awareness to our fear, we start to access the energy behind it. And that's where transformation begins. It's pathing. It's like going through your fears, you can see your power. That sounds to you? Are you with me? Some things like resonates to yourself? Yes. Mika, Camille, yes. Perfect. So the next one, please. I'm going to propose you, to invite you a little pause, like to invite you to do an exercise. It's just 1 minute exercise. Please close your eyes if you feel comfortable, that it feels comfortable for you to do that. Take maybe 1 or 2 deep breaths. And ask yourself gently this question. What fear is holding a piece of my power? Breath. What would happen if I stop fighting it and start dancing with it? You don't need to find an answer now. Just let the question stay with you for a while. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes again. I think it's very uncomfortable just to see that sometimes we are fighting our fears, avoiding them, and not to facing it. We need courage. It's not easy, but at the same time, it's not possible to run away, you know? It's like getting growth and be in the process of life is to face it, one and the other fear we have. And through it by. It's not just to see, it's to see and to allow ourselves to transform through them. In dragon dreaming, the dragon represents the challenges, the fears, the resistance that appear when we take a step toward our dreams. When we start dreaming, the monsters appears, and a dragon is a kind of. It is not something to fight or defeat, but rather to listen to understand, and of course, to integrate. The dragon holds the energy of transformation. Facing it will allow us to grow, to awaken to inner power, and to make our projects more alive, meaningful, and authentic. And that's what I wanted to explain you and to share with you today. It's how to use the dragon dreaming in a practical way. But first, I was trying to introduce you the deepest philosophy in dragon dreaming. So, what is dragon dreaming? The next slide, please, Mika. Dragon dreaming has 4 phases and 3 principles. I'm going to explain this. The other one. Dragon dreaming is a way of running projects that makes your dream come true. Please, I'm going to repeat this because it's very important. Dragon dreaming is a way of running projects that makes your dreams come true. And that's why I'm going to change your life today, because this tool is very powerful. I'm not joking, I'm not lying. In fact, I'm going to give you a videography that you can see a lot of different kind of projects worldwide, all around the world, that explains how to use dragon dreaming in big scale, you know? So it's a methodology for creating projects that are successful, sustainable, aligned with the dreams of the earth and people. It helps us to move from individual desire to collective action. That's why it's very useful nowadays. From individual desire to collective action, and from control to creation. It's possible to run projects not from control, not from manipulation, but from co-creation, from co-collaborative. This system, this tool, is inspired by system thinking, Aboriginal wisdom, deep ecology, and it invites us to connect with life, community, and ourselves. And dragon dreaming has 3 core principles, and I'm going to explain you. The first one is personal growth. Every project should be a path of inner transformation for those involved. What does it mean? It means that you have to work with something that you really feel in you. It's not that here is my work, my professional career, what I make money for living, and this is my life. This is my personal life. Like the 2 things are separated or nothing to do one with another, you know? I think, unfortunately, the most part of the world have this separation, this dissociation inside. This like a fact, an injustice social fact. So this is what Dragon Dreaming propose and ask us to apply the first principle, personal growth. I have to commit myself to do things that I grow, that make me grow, you know, that makes me evolve my consciousness while I'm working. Even if I don't like the work, even if I don't like my job, even if I don't like my boss, sometimes they ask me, well, I have a narcissist boss that it's very bad with me or something. And I says, well, grow, face it, your fear. What do you have to learn about this situation? Not to avoid it. I'm going to the work and then I forget it. Because it's not true. You don't forget it. So, it's clear? Second one, community building. Community building, it's something very, very important. It's like projects are not just about our goals, but about building relationship and shared responsibility. Community building is a must. It's like a logical and authentical consequence of our project. It's like the goal of our project is always community building. It's impossible to run a project alone. a project exists and then a community is built around the project. It's not the other way around. Sometimes in business, they ask me, so I want to capture the community of blah, blah, blah. And I says, no, you can't capture a community. You can do your service, you can do your work, you can do your whatever you have to do and to bring in world. And if you can hold it and practice and sustain that action, that service, there are going to be people that can see you and can be related and feel close to your service, and that may be your community. You know what I mean? The community is the result of your action. It's not in the other way around. And the third core principle is service to Earth. These three principles are not negotiated. I mean that you can negotiate it. Every project must respect these three principles. And service to Earth is like every project you should give something back to the planet and support the regenerative of life. It's like the intergenerational framework. You are always enhancing the well-being and flourishing of life. It's like nowadays we are in the changing paradigms. Have you ever heard about the eco-social transition? Yes? Well, we are in a bridge. The old way of doing things are dying, and the new way of doing things are birth. But at the same time, dying and birth are here around us. And we are not in a new world, but even we are not in the old world. It's like we are in the middle, in the chaos. That's why dragon dreaming is very powerful tool. So the next one. Let's now dive into the practical side of the tool and explore how the dragon dreaming wheel works. Yes? Now I'm going to ask you to write again. If you want, I invite you to do the wheel with me, and maybe you can think on your project, personal project, work project, a project you are part of, or maybe your dream, or something you want, maybe your life project, maybe your degree project, I don't know, whatever you want. But choose a project or choose a dream or choose an idea. Choose your business, maybe. And take a paper and a pen, and we are going to draw the diagram together, and you will begin to map using your own project or your own idea. I'm going to explain how the wheel or the mandala works. This mandala you can see there is divided into 4 quadrants, separated by dot lines. The dot lines are very important. Why? Because these are not walls, but poros is the word in English, like when you have like the skin, it has poros. Okay. It's like permeable boundaries. Camille, yes, please.
Just to mention that we just talked about that yesterday, the porosity of the skin.
Oh, amazing. We are aligned. Well, yes, that's very, because that's important for our new way of thinking with the body, no? Because skin porous and the mandala of dragon dreaming is porous because the boundaries are permeable. They are not walls, definite limits, boundaries. Each quadrant is distinct, is different to each other, but yet deeply connected to the others. That's why the dot lines or the porous line is important. This reminds us that the project never rigid, you know? Dragon Dreaming see projects, business, entrepreneur, like living systems. A project is a dragon is a living life. Can you see your dream as a living system? Can you see your business as a life? So I was saying that the project is never rigid. It flows between inner and our outer world, between ideas and actions. So if you make a big cycle, you have to separate between individual and environment, theory and praxis. When we explain dragon dreaming, we often says that first of all, the project starts with an individual dream. When you first run a project, it's an idea. It's just 99% theory and 1% praxis. In the other way around, when the project's growth itself, it's 99 praxis and just 1% theory, you know? The encounter between an individual and their environment, as well as between practice and theory, creates two interfaces and four quadrants. That every project contains these four quadrants: dreaming, planning, doing, and celebrating. Yes? And always we start by dreaming. Then you can see that this way of being like a wheel or a mandala is like a very organic system. I think Maria was talking about cells. Maybe there is something that reminds you. So let's begin. If this structure helps us, of course, to see personal growth, community connection, and practical change come together like a living cycle. Yes, I think dragon dreaming help us to see projects alive and to see project in living cycle. I work with a lot of entrepreneurships, maybe more than 200. And it's fucking amazing for me to realize that we think project that objects and not project that as lives, you know? And we are always thinking about being in the top of the mountain. And it's impossible to be in the top of the mountain all the time. You walk into the top of the mountain and then you plan your descent, the descension. of the mountain, you know? And the both places are okay. And both places are desirable for us. The top of the mountain, the rooftop of the mountain, is not better than the soil, the roof, the earth down. Our patriarchy, capitalistic, social way of seeing things, we are always thinking about more is better, not necessary. So let's begin. We are beginning now. Can we move from the next one? So, do you have your wheel, your mandala, individual, environment, theory, praxis with dot points? If you have that, we are going to begin with dreaming. It's always the first stage, the first phase. Every project starts with a dream. The dreaming phase is about imagining new possibilities beyond fear, beyond limits, beyond boundaries, and beyond what think it's realistic. You know, when you are dreaming, everything is possible. Think about your dreams. Great things happen in your dreams. It's not logic. It's not linear. Everything is possible. Yes? And this phase is a dream. It's not a real dream. It's a dream. In this phase, we listen deeply to our longings, our intuition, our connection of something greater. We ask ourselves, what do we really want to create? What would be beautiful, meaningful, and regenerative for us and for the world? I always says a phrase, it's a quite difficult to translate for me. It's like, you can write your dream, right? Maybe we can try that now. Just imagine your dream or one of your dream in your life and write it. Which is your dream? We are not going to share this, so feel free to write whatever you want, your dream. If I am someone who can make your dream come true, what is your dream? Which is your dream? Write it. So, my phrase is like, if you read your dream and you can make come true, that's not a dream. That's a pending. Do you understand what I mean? Dreams are impossible to make come true alone. If you are reading your dream, for example, I have a dream. I want to go to Europe. I read, I want to go to Europe. I can do that? Yes, I can. So that's not a dream. That's a pending in my list. You know the difference? I want to live in an ecological community with healthy human beings in peace. I read my dream. Can I make my dream come true alone? Of course not. Well, that's a big dream. That's a dream. It's not a pending list. Do you see the difference? Yes? So, I'm going to share you one of the paradox of this phase. All projects begin with one person dream, yes, as we says. But according to Sean Croft, it's, as I told you, is one of the main thinkers and creators of Dragon Dreaming Institute. Is a worldwide institute. And he says that in this phase, 99% of the project die. And why? And the reason is very simple. Because we often don't share our dreams. That's why our project don't see the light and never come real. Because we are ashamed. We are embarrassed about our dreams. We carry inner judgments like this is too big, this is childish, or who am I to dream this? This is too romantic, this is not possible, right? So we don't share our dream, and that's the first reason why 99% of the projects die before starting. Dreaming is not about having all the answers. It's about opening the door to purpose and inspiration. It's the moment when your personal vision begins to transform into shared information. It's when you share your dream, of course your dream dies, because it gets better when someone hears your dream. For example, I'm giving these lessons, but I'm 100% sure that if we are going to do this lesson all together, it's going to be better. It's going to be the best class we can do. Because not just because we do it together, but our intelligence, the collective intelligence, is always better, like louder, like bigger than my own intelligence. And that's happened with dreams. So let's continue with the next phase. Next phase is planning. Oh, I have some words in Spanish, sorry. I didn't notice. Well, the second phase is planning. Once a dream is shared, suppose we have the courage to share our dreams, the dream starts becoming real. The planning phase is where we bring a structure to the dream without killing of its spirit, without killing the spirit of the dream. To explain this, I love a French word. Camille, I think you speak French? Yes? Well, in France, you have a word, is revision, the vision of the rêve. Rêve is dream, right? So the revision is the real vision of the dream. It's the double vision of the dream. It's not just a dream, it's the vision of the dream. And that's revision. And I think planning has to do with that. Yes?
Yes, I can feel that there is a link, like revision, like is to recess something and to compare it to what we wanted and to go through something. So maybe it could be linked.
Yes, and I think I find like it's nice that revision has rêve inside, you know? Revision, the word has the dream inside. And that's nice to think about the planning. Because in general, we relate or we link planning with a structure, and we link a structure with something several and difficult and cold. And it's not like that. In fact, it's about asking, what do we need? Who will be involved? What steps can we take? We move from imagination to intention, and from intention to action. Good planning in dragon dreaming is alive, flexible, and collective, never rigid or hierarchical. It's not has hierarchy. I'm going to talk something about hierarchy later. It's like drawing a map for a journey that hasn't happened yet, but that already has a direction. Planning is when you have a direction, a north, a goal. One of the problems about planning is that we plan our dreams, our business, our projects, our family, whatever. We plan from mind. I'm going to do this and then this, and we make a big to-do list from the mind. And we forget to planify, to planning from the heart, from the uterus, from all your body. It's possible to do a planning with all your body. What does it mean? Sometimes we think, oh, at 8 o'clock, I'm going to do that. At 9, I'm going to do that. At 10, I'm going to do that. But then you realize it's not possible because maybe that day you woke up with flu, or you are throwing by a very deep emotion, or something happened. Maybe the light shut down. I don't know. There are a lot of things happening inside and outside. So the planning should be a structure, but enough open to be possible. Are you with me? That resounds to you? Yes? So dragon dreaming brings us the idea of planning without dissociation. Not just mental planning, planning with your whole body. Let's continue. Maybe later I'm going to say another things. Well, we have here the third phase of doing. This is where the project came to life. Recently, we appear in life. Sometimes I use the metaphor that dreaming is the seed, planning is the little plant that is growing, and here in the doing, it appears. No? The first leaves The first sheets. Oh, I forgot the word to say.
Leaves.
Leaves. Thank you, Camille. The first leaves appear. Yes, this is where the project comes to life. Dreaming and planning are invisible and here appear to the world. In the practice, you don't see the theory. The theory is like invisible. We move here from ideas to the real world action. Tasks are shared, responsibilities are taken, and things start to happen. In this phase, we find two different ways of doing. One is the leading, and the other one is the doing. I didn't tell you, but the phases, we can relate it to different elements in nature, like dreaming with water, planning with wood, and doing with fire and earth. Doing with fire has to do with leading, and doing with earth has to do with action. Leading means doing nothing, and I'm going to explain a little bit more about it in a few seconds. But for now, pay attention. Leading is doing nothing. And in the other side, acting means doing a lot. It's like the real doing. It's like the doing. Doing. What does it mean to do nothing? What does it mean that lead is to do nothing? For dragon dreaming, do nothing is to be present. It's about sensing the right timing of the project. It's to feel the timing. You know, that's very important in business, not to be in time, out of time. It's to be in the right time, the right timing. It's like to pulse, like the beating of the heart in the body. The heart leads the body. Why? Because it can pulse. Just pulsing. What does the heart do? Pulse. And that's what the leader do in a project. Pulse. This is the art of leadership. And I call this kind of art ecosystemic leadership or eco-leadership. Eco-leadership is another way of calling ecosystemic leadership. We will talk more about this in a moment, but I believe it's one of the greatest challenges in entrepreneurship today, the ecosystem leadership. Understand what we are doing when we are leading. Sometimes we say we are leading the change of paradigm. We are leading the ecosystem change of paradigm. What do you mean we are leading? But in a moment, we are going to back to eco-leaders. Now, I want to talk about the earth power of doing. Acting is about the hands-on, you know, like the daily task. We have a Spanish way of saying putting the hands on the earth. It's like Let's do that. Let's begin. It's the tangible doing, implementing the plan with coherence, with clarity, with care. Here we have a very, very huge challenge. It's about the relationship between the planners and the doers. Because when you have a plan, maybe you have like a perfect plan, but then you have to do the plan. You have to do in action. And this is where the first big fight starts. You can't do it like that. Or you can do it as you planning. And you have to change the planning. The coherence is the coherence between the plan and the doing. Here, in this phase, projects or business die because of the lack of coherence. Because you says, I'm going to do this, and then you do another thing. Oh, it's very pity to be speaking in English because I want to say like funny things in my language, and I don't have enough courage to say it in English. Sorry.
Maybe you can try in Spanish also. Some people can understand it.
Yes, I have. I'm going to try. Thank you, Camille, for encouraging me. I have like expression. It's like it's easier to go to the pony of your friends than to ride your own dragon. I'm going to repeat it. It's easier that to go to ride the pony of your friend than to ride your own dragon. That sense to you? Yes? That means that you have to do what you have to do. And when you have to do what you have to do, maybe you prefer to go to help someone else. To ride the pony, not to ride your own dragon. Because to drive your own dragon asks you the most powerful and coherent way of being, to do what you really want to do. And that's not easy. It sounds easy, but I think it's the most difficult thing. So, in dragon dreaming, both forms of doing are essential. And they must stay in balance, yes? Living and doing. But as I found especially interesting for you in this class, I would love to profound or go deeper in eco-leader, because I think the meaning or the concept of ecosystem leadership, is important. I says leadership because it's like a play of words, because maybe we can put the other slide, Mika, please. Well, let me explain this. In traditional models, leadership is usually hierarchical, or it has a hierarchy. Someone is on the top, and the person who is on the top gives orders, and the other follows the orders, right? I always put the same example when I go to enterprises, and maybe you enter somewhere and you ask a worker, why are you here? The answer is because of the salary. because of the salary. That means that the person doesn't know why is working there. It's very unlikely and uncommon that a worker knows about the dreams of the enterprise, of the institution, of the association, of the foundation. That's begin the first separation. So this patriarchal model sees the leader as the one who knows everything, carries all the pressure, and it's responsible for everyone else. It's often based on control, manipulation, competition, and individual success. Right? That sounds to you, because that's like our society's works. But in Dragon Dreaming, we practice a different kind of leadership. It's ecosystemic leadership. This is a leadership that listens instead of command, share power instead of concentrating power, and flows like a system, not like a pyramid. In the next slide, you can see how the energy flows in the team. You know that in hierarchy, on the top, the energy goes down, and the project goes from a little idea to like a progress. It's like the modern philosophy, always more and better. Nowadays, we are aware that our planet has boundaries and our bodies has boundaries. Our community has boundaries. Our lakes, trees, our nature has boundaries. It's a lie that we can progress and doing extractivism from the earth and from the body without stop. We have limits, we have boundaries, ecological boundaries, and it's enough. So, an ecosystem leadership listens instead of commands, shares power, flows like a system. It's all connected. An ecosystemic leader understands that project is like a living being. It has its own rhythm, energy, and intelligence. That's very important. The project has their own rhythm. It doesn't depend on the person who is leading. It depends on the project. It's very easy to see like a dragon. A dragon needs something very different than the driver of the dragon. You see? The next one, please. So the leader role is to be present, attuned, and responsive, rather than always to be in control. In this sense, leadership means creating space, not filling in. Creating space, not filling it. And here it's, I think, a very simple way to describe dissociation, separation, and ego. When we have a hierarchy, and this is very common in huge enterprises, leading by CEOs, like famous CEOs, or maybe a president of a country, that the hierarchy is always an individual, like someone with a name and surname. And the project depends on that name, depends on that person. It's a substance leading. It's busy, and it's that person. Maybe here in South America, and I think in the North, it's the same. Sometimes, I don't know, there is a person in political parties, for example, that is well known and is like the leader of the party. And when the person die, the party disappear. And when the person die, the project disappear, you know? And that's very clear. That because the project depends on the person. And for Dragon Dreaming leading is the other way round. It's about unity, community, awareness. And this is the most important thing I have to share with you today. Leadership is a function, an empty function. It's a place, it's not a person. It's an empty place and it's available. Sometimes I can be running in that position. I can be like working as a leader, but I'm not the owner of the project. I am the leader of the project. That means that maybe tomorrow I'm not going to be here, but my dream continue being true because someone is going to leading, is going, or it's going to be available. The place is going to be available. I'm clear? Sorry, I think. So, yes?
Yes, like this drawing makes me think about how often in collectives there are some people that takes a lot of action and responsibility, and they always are busy and full, and they are not available for the other people in the project. And so, yeah, that fuels some reflection into that.
Yes, of course. And I think what you said, Camille, is one of the main problems on leading projects actually. Like leaders has a huge challenge. All of us have a huge challenge between burnout and depression. Burnout and depression are our social symptoms today. That's right. Did you hear about your friends or maybe yourself through by a burnout or a depression? It's almost the same. It's when the fire is so high that the fire is on your head, that's a burnout. You have like a repetitive thinking, like loop. You think on looping, or the fire should be in our feet. If you let the fire goes up, the fire naturally goes up and up and up. Maybe you are going to have like inflamed boost, like your belly is inflamed. When you have inflammation, you are inflamed. That means you have fire in you, a lot of fire. Fire is related with angry, with resentment, is related with ira, right? It's like rage. It's something that you can't move through your body, and that is going up, up, up. And one day you have the fire in your head, and you are full, and you are busy, and you are like burnout. I'm ecofeminist, so I always see what is happening in the earth is happening in our bodies at the same time. We have our territories in flames with big fires in goods. So that's happening in our bodies too. In this sense, sorry, and I didn't describe the other pole. Like in one pole, you have burnout, and the other one is depression. What does depression means? It's like when you don't have your flame shuts down. You don't have a goal, a dream. Everything is the same. If you do this or if you don't do this, it's the same. You don't care about the existence. You don't care. So can you put the next one, Mika, please? What I mean is that in this sense, leadership means creating space, not feeling it. It means knowing when to act and when to step back. Sometimes I like to think that leading is doing nothing because it's necessary that leaders, eco-leaders, have enough empty space to ask every person in the team, what do you need? Leading is a service. You lead something when you are taking care of the other people, when your function is to ask everyone else, what do you need? Like the heart in the body. The heart pulses and gives the blood to every organ that needs to function. That's what a leader do. Ask and service. Like in nature, true leadership is always, maybe not always, but often invisible, but deeply powerful. So when you start understanding the leadership like an ecosystem, what is happening is that you create a network, a web of life. For example, I'm eco-leadership of one of my projects. But of course, I'm not an eco-leader in every project I working on. In another project, I'm not leading. Maybe I'm planning or maybe I'm doing, but I'm not leading. I'm lead sometimes, and sometimes I am leading. You know? Because if not, you are in danger. Narcissistic danger, burnout danger, danger everywhere. So let's start thinking about how our sexual and creativity energy flows. You give and receive, and you must lead like nature, giving and receiving. You are in burnout because you are always trying to do. You are always trying to serve, and you forgot to rest. You forgot to calm down. You forgot to sleep. You forgot to receive. Sorry, I very like this topic. Let's continue. Yes.
Just for the precedent slide, the adjectives were like the description of an eco leader, like the
Yes, exactly.
terms.
Yes.
Okay.
An eco-leader, good question. An eco-leader should be empty, available, multiply and diverse, interchangeable, intermittent. Intermittent is very important. For example, I'm leading this project, but I'm get pregnant. I think I'm not going to lead this project this year. Intermittent leadership. I'm shut off, and someone is going to lead it. And I say that I have a very deep communication with my team. If I have or I haven't the available energy to lead this year, you know? And it's cyclical. Eco-leadership is cyclical. It's changeable. It's reversible. Sometimes, well, what I was explaining, yes. And the next one, Mika, I think it's like a clear point of view, because if we are able to understand eco-leadership, we are going to see that work in the matrix, in the real matrix, in our system that is collapsing, that is like polycrisis in our work system nowadays. Whole work system is changing. I'm not going to enter here in biohacking, but maybe in another masterclass we can talk about biohacking, but I think it's hacking the matrix, biohacking the matrix. For example, calm down, put your feet on the earth, take a nap is way of hacking the matrix. That makes you consciousness about your purpose. Your purpose in life is like the root spirituality is an ecofeminist concept. It's about spirituality is not something outside your life, it's not something transcendent. It's something you do every day. It's something that is in acts, in habits. It's something you repeat every day. The sacred life is sacred. So when you see life as a sacred thing, you start to feel different, to be here and to be now, to incarnate in our bodies in a transcending or in our time, you know, in a paradigm changing time. Why you are here now? When you start asking yourself those kind of questions, the service appear, and the service is the relationship you have with your community. I always say the same to entrepreneurship. To run a business, to run a project, it's not to do what you want. It's to do what your community demands. It's to do what your community needs. It's to contribute. Entrepreneurship is to contribute to your community. It's not to do your hobby. It's not to do your pleasure thing. Maybe it's to do as well. In fact, that's your task. Yeah, that's your pending list. That's your personal goal, to mix what you love to do and what your community needs. And that's the purpose of your service. So, leading, unifying, your sexual energy, your heart energy, and your conscious energy, leading, unifying your body, your community, and your nature, not your nature, is a way of doing service. And that's what an eco-leader do. Let's continue with the wheel of dragon dreaming. And then if you want, we can go back to eco-leadership. So finally, we are almost closing this session. Finally, we arrived at the fourth and maybe the most joyful phase of the dragon dreaming, and that's celebrating. Celebration is not just about a party. Please, don't confuse. We all love party, but that's not celebrating. Celebrating, it's about recognizing and honoring the process, the people and the growth. Honoring. Celebrating is linked to honoring. In this phase, we reflect on everything that has been created, learn and share. Celebrating is when you see and you says, I see you. I can see your change, your transformation. Maybe you are seeing each other today or yesterday for the first time. And when you finish this amazing experience, you are going to see each other differently. And you are going to celebrate how you grow, how you change, how you transform. It's essential to take time to recognize ourselves, our effort, our resilience, and our courage. We often forget to stop, to calm down, and acknowledge how far we've come. So celebrating is crucial. It's a crucial moment to reinforce personal growth and self-consciousness, self-confidence. You know, I always say to enterprises, celebrating is not the last year celebration party.
The New Year's, yeah.
Yes, Mar, that's not celebration. To get drunk with my partners and colleagues at work. That's not celebration. Celebration is honoring your presence in this project. Thanks for being here. Thanks for giving your presence to this project. This project was better because you were here. If you weren't here, this couldn't be like this. And that's make a huge difference for you, for this community, and for the earth. So celebrating is not just about us as individuals. Celebrating also strengthens community trust. Because it's when your community see you. When we celebrate together, we build connections. I'm sure you have the experience to know someone in celebrating. It's like you see the real person, you know? Maybe sometimes at work, I don't know, I'm very serious person or not, I seems like not friendly. And then we met on a bar, I'm totally different. And when you celebrate with someone, you know, like the soul of the person. For the project, in this phase, you discerning wisdom because you realize this is the phase of the crisis as well. Why crisis? Because you are aware of transforming results. You dream, and there you plan with goals, and there you were doing, and now you are celebrating the results. Maybe you're happy, and maybe you are not. But it's important to acknowledge, to acquiring new skills, seeing the whole process, seeing the whole wheel running. So this creates a cycle of positive energy. For dragon dreaming, just only 1% of the project goes into this phase. Ecosystem project survival by applying linking intelligence. Celebration reinforces the feeling that we are not alone in our work, that we are part of something bigger, and that all efforts, no matter how small, are valuable. Maybe here you find the difference between price and value. So, next one, please, Mika. Why this is a very important tool? Because dragon dreaming, in opposition of project management always functions with the left side of the brain. When you have a hierarchy of projects, the pyramid that we saw a few minutes ago is like planning doing. A project starts with a planification and then finish when it's done. Yes, that's hierarchy. That's project management. I'm the leader. I know what I have to do. I order you to do it. You do it. Fine. It's okay. We finish the process. Left side of the brain, hierarchy, project management. What dragon dreaming is trying to invite us is to work with the right side of the brain, the dreaming and the celebrating, non-linear way of being, to mix the feminine and the masculine energy, the right side of the brain and the left side of the brain, the water, the wood, the fire, the earth, the metal. Dreamers and planning and doing and celebrating people. We all are eco-leaders of dreaming, eco-leaders of planning, eco-leaders of doing, and eco-leaders of celebrating. And we are not fighting each other. Like celebrating says, oh, administration people of planning and are always upset. And the doings are not saying, oh, the dreamers are so stupid. They are always have beautiful thinking, but never doing nothing. We need the collaboration. We need the cooperation between all those kind of eco-leaderships. Could you please go to the next one? So, for closing, ecofeminism is a social and theoretical movement that addresses the ongoing epistemological link between the violence experienced in the territories are in the bodies of women and people in general, not just women, of course. Its fundamental values are interconnection, care, and justice, specifically social justice. Ecofeminism challenge the idea that we can live disconnected from our body, disconnected from another human beings, because we need material or emotional care. We are interdependent. We depend on the other people of my community. Mostly when we are little and when we are very old. We can't live without care. And of course, of the nature, you know? Patriarchy thinks, or maybe want us to think, that it's possible to live outside of the body, like virtual way of being, AI, transhumanism, and a lot of other things. We can live without relationship, and we can live without close contact from nature. And that's not true. That's not true. This philosophy insists that we are part of a larger system. Ecofeminism sees everything connected, interconnected. We cannot ignore or exploit one aspect without affecting the others. It's clear that the principle of ecofeminism, which are there, the values, service to earth, community building, personal evolution, cycling, care of life, sustainability, interdependence, eco-dependence, these principles are aligned to the dragon dreaming. Both frameworks allow us to create, design, and act from a place of integration. That's the key word of this masterclass, integration, where everything, people, nature, and the process itself are in harmony. So please, next slide. I think it's the last one. Well, to finish, I chose some phrases of Dragon Dreaming workbook that I'm going to share with you when we finish the class. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Dragon Dreaming is all about getting things safely out of control. In giving a true gift, the giver receives as much pleasure as the receiver. I love that. It's not fun, it's not sustainable. I have to tattoo that. Keep it playful. Let's keep it playful. It's very nice what you are doing here. Because if we forgot to play, if we forgot to be connected to our bodies while we are studying, while we are searching, while we are investigating something, if we are separated from our bodies, from the rest of the human beings, our family, our community, our friends, If we are separate from nature, of course, they are illusions. We are not. We are definitely not. But we have the illusion we are separated. So ecofeminism comes here to says, that's an illusion. We have link, we are profound, we are part of the bigger system of life, and we are not in the middle. We are not the most important part of life. We are just one of a species all around the planet, a little one, a destructive one, but little. So I think that's the message, to keep it playful, to be, I says, choose to be where you are. I think that's a very big task and a very big responsibility. Choose to be ourselves. Choose to be where we are. And if we don't want to be where we are, first choose to be there, to really feel there, and to change. It's like be in presence, in touch with life around you. So thank you. Thanks all of you. Maybe we have 10 minutes to talk about or to share something. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you, not only for what you said, but yeah, with the passion that you shared it. It was really nice and engaging. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Flor. It's so inspiring hear this talk. I'm so like touched in so many ways because like I think the fundamental thing you are transmitting us is the listening, like always listen, and to dream and to create a eco project is so important to always be listening to ourselves and our surroundings. And it's so amazing, all these metaphors and images, and so alive and so connected to nature and the elements. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You are going to have in the bibliography like different videos of Sean Croft, who is the president of the International Foundation of Dragon Dreaming, and he explains the dragon dreaming very beautifully. So you can go on learning this tool and to applying this tool. You know that I encourage you to use it, the dragon dreaming, because I think it's like a common language we can have together to make projects. Natalia, if you know the dragon dreaming and I know the dragon dreaming, and we want to think or start something together, it was, what you are going to do? I'm going to lead the planning. You can lead the dreaming. Let's find someone who can lead the doing. You know, that we start to talk and to manage same language, and it's easier. And in fact, the most important thing, I think, it's that when we share our dreams, we start to be aware that we have sometimes the same dream. And that's fantastic. And it's not that I am a farmer, so I have to work with a farmer that has the same dream. No, no, no. Maybe you are a farmer and you have a dream, and there's a person who works as an engineer has the same dream. So dreamers are bigger than individuals. It's obvious, but we have to remember that.
Yeah, thank you, Flor. It was super nice. And I think that new type of leaderships are super needed in our organizations. And also I had a question for you. I like the idea of leaders for doing nothing to leave the space to the rest of the organization. And I was also wondering, what do you think about I think part of also maybe the role of the leader sometimes is like to give example by doing things. And indeed, how do you find the equilibrium between the two things?
When I say that a leader do nothing, I don't mean that do nothing. In fact, when it's a tricky question because not always a leader is a leader. You know that maybe in an enterprise, the CEO is not a leader, but maybe one of the workers, like roof workers, are the real leader of that enterprise. And what does it means? That person inspire the others, don't control, manipulate, or order the others. Inspire. So sometimes it's very common to see when the leader leaves a company, another workers leave the company. And that's why a leader is someone that makes us feel safe. Because the leader creates space, leader, eco-leader, is the person who creates the safe space. So that's the example. Maybe the example is not that I'm going to do your job. I'm going to do my work that is making you safe while you are with me. It's clear? That's very difficult. That's very difficult.
If I can
When you
add
are...
to the...
Yes, of course. Sorry.
I think it's important to have this consciousness, to have a space to be to. I really liked the phrase you said. You lead something when you're taking care of the person, and I think it's really like this consciousness to keep time in your schedule, to have that time for the people of the project is the thing for to be leader. And then I agree that it's really important as a leader to show example and to be there, but I think it's a lot more to be there with the other people, and by that there is something that shows the example because you're doing things as you're doing them, and it represents your values. So if you're there with the people and doing things, it serves as an example also, I think.
Yes, of course. Yes. And at the same time, to be there, taking care of yourself. It's like, I think I became a better leader when I start being vulnerable and saying, I need help, I'm exhausted, I have to rest, I'm not working anymore, I'm going to sleep. That's a way of inspire the other in the team, you know? Not just taking care of the rest, but taking care of myself in front of the rest is the best way of taking care of them. Can you catch that part? That's important. Imagine a CEO of a company. Well, please, I'm going to rest. Can you imagine? We need those kind of leaders to avoid depression and burnout. Leaders that take snap. I did joke in English. Well, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to share with you Dragon Dreaming. And I hope you enjoyed the bibliography, and there's a lot of videos. And I let you my Instagram there in the chat. I'm Spanish speaker. I'm going to be in Europe, in Spain, giving a workshop in Barcelona about manage and manipulate the internal fire, because I'm very worried about a lot of entrepreneurs in burnout and depression. I work. So I invite you to follow me in Spanish, but of course I speak English. So if you want to continue talking or whatever, I'm available. And thank you so much for listening and sharing and your presence.
Thank you, Flor. Yeah, it was very, very interesting, all of this. And I think English was not at all an obstacle to make us arrive your message and your passion and your fire until us. And it was a lot of information new for me, and I think for a lot of us. And I'm curious how this will go down and mix with our dreams and projects on these days. Yeah, so thank you. And the next time we see each other is on body and alive, on persons and on nature. So that's super nice. And yes, until there, the communication is super open, and Paula is doing a great job to guide you and to help you with transportation. And whatever comment, question that arrives on these days, also the chat is open to share. So I think that's it for today, and let's go rest. And I think Cami had a question. So if some of you want to take 5 minutes more after we say goodbye to ask questions about practical things, I will stay 5 minutes more here. Okay. So thank you again.
Thank you. Goodbye. Nice to meet you.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias, Flor.
Yes, so it was for the travel. So it's Paula that is informed for the traject because I asked a question in an email last week, and I'm waiting for an answer to try and choose one option for my travel back.
About the tax.
And also, yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, I was asking if maybe if the company of taxi could maybe project to go to Barcelona maybe, and to see if it's an option that can be done, because I thought Alejandro or something like that needed to leave on Friday too.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm just trying to find a solution to go back to Barcelona
Yeah. Well, I
in
thought
order.
she answered you because she asked with us about it, and we were thinking that the taxi probably will be super expensive,
Mhm.
Barcelona, because, for example, from Pobla to the refugee, that is like nothing. It's 30 euros. So Barcelona.
Yeah, okay.
But maybe we were thinking to see the possibility of a taxi until a place where there is a train.
Yes.
And I
Mm.
know there is this train because you will take after a bus from Barcelona.
So I need no because I need to be on Monday on to the Saturday morning on Paris. So I need to take a plane
I will take.
in order to go there because there wasn't any other option in order to get there in time. And so yeah, there is I think the last plane that is leaving is like 21 or 22, something like that,
Oh,
from Barcelona.
you have all Saturday day, no, to arrive to Barcelona.
No, I need to leave on Friday night because I'm in another training in Paris on Saturday morning.
Ah, you take the Friday, you take the plane, not the Saturday.
Yes, I need to leave us Friday. Yeah.
Ah, okay, okay. Yeah, so I know, for example, there is one train that goes directly
Mm-hmm.
to the airport. There is,
Yeah.
you can see, as Renfe,
Yeah,
RR.
Renfe.
So
Mm-hmm.
you can see that that train, I know that goes like until, yeah, after Barcelona. So maybe it would be easier to find a way to that train, not to Barcelona. I can take a look and send it to.
Because yeah, I had difficulties to like find the correct information in a train in Spain, but maybe I wasn't in on the correct sites. And so I couldn't really find the station that we could go in order to take a train to Barcelona. Because
Okay.
the station that you mentioned in the first emails,
Yeah.
they are not, they haven't got any train on the afternoon.
Ah, okay.
So I cannot take that.
Okay. Well, that information I can look for it and send it to you tomorrow. And
Mhm.
yeah, to think about it. But the other thing we wanted to say about this, it was that if it passes the budget, it should go
Mhm.
on your budget. Yes, we
Yes, yes, of course. Yeah.
we will try to make it like not less, but let's see what we
Yeah.
find. So yes,
And also, I needed the phone number or the information contact of Zoe in order to organize the car pooling. But I'm not sure if she's on the WhatsApp
okay. I look it right
or
now.
if I could have some contact in order to clarify that with her.
Mm, yeah, it's true that she's
Mhm.
not on the WhatsApp. So I will ask also that to Raquel and we will send it to you by WhatsApp. It's okay. It's easier to communicate.
Okay, or maybe okay, yeah. So that's it.
Okay, Cami. So yes,
Thank you.
I will take care of it. Bueno, thank you. Bye bye. And Anja, I listen to you.
Thank you.
Bye, Camille.
Bye.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask, I saw that like the tickets, the budget, it's written like 4 days or something like it depends on the country, like how many days we can take to travel. And I wanted to ask, does it mean that, for example, just an idea, since I'm going to the training, like if I could spend like, I don't know, a couple of days in Barcelona afterwards and then travel, if it takes me, like if this stays inside of 4 days after or 3 days, is it possible or not? Or do we have to
Tickets are
travel this day? Sorry, it cuts. I didn't hear.
you said you are in France, right?
Yeah, I'm in France.
So I think because that means like that's for green travel, no? So that means, for example, if someone
Yeah,
had to take a train, so it has to sleep in a place, So
sí.
I think that could be like, for example, to sleep one day in Barcelona and then to travel.
Mhm.
I think that could be, yeah, like if you do green travel,
Okay.
that could count on it. I will check with Raquel and Paula and we'll confirm it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Have a nice evening. Ciao.